This weekend, the stable has a number of exciting chances in Sydney and Melbourne. Starting with the Group 1 Blue Diamond at Sandown, the instructor will look to claim Gai and Adrian's inaugural win in this prestigious contest for 2-year-olds. This colt by Russian Revolution will race in the colours of First Light Racing. Have you been happy with his progress since his impressive win in the Blue Diamond Prelude?
The instructor's had a great lead up into what's going to be his grand final, the Blue Diamond Stakes here on Saturday. Really looking forward to seeing him run and seeing him take his place. He couldn't have been more impressive in his two most recent starts. He's jumped and controlled and really taken advantage of the tactical speed that he's got, and we'll look to utilise that once again on Saturday. He's got a great draw. He's been kept right up to the mark with an impressive trial against the older horses and really appears in good shape. So very much looking forward to the race.
Alligator Blood returns to the races in the Group 1 Futurity Stakes. He's had one trial leading into this top-level race, which will see him up against I'm Thunderstruck and Mr. Brightside. Are you confident he can fight out the finish?
I've been very pleased with Alligator Blood. He's such a tremendous horse to train, and really steps up when it counts. Proven weight for age performer. So looking forward to seeing him return to the races on Saturday in the Futurity Stakes. Certainly going to be an exciting matchup once again. Do feel there's some improvement to certainly come out of this race. Just following pattern from his previous preparations, he showed good improvement off his first up run last campaign to improve nicely. Second up at the mile. He's heading towards the All-Star Mile, so certainly want to see him show a competitive run on Saturday and head towards that race with a lot of confidence. So if you're out there voting, he's certainly one to keep into calculations for the All-Star Mile.
Acosta was narrowly beaten last time out over 1,800 metres at this track. His 3-year-old son of Schnitzel will line up in the Group 2 Caulfield Autumn Classic. Talk us through his chances.
Costa's just continued to improve and go from strength to strength down in Melbourne. He's excelled once he's stepped out in distance. So really looking forward to seeing him return to the races. I thought he's improved off his last start. As I said, he just seems to be in a really good frame of mind in the stable down there. Physically, he looks in great condition and looks to have taken good improvement. So with that, certainly expect him to run a very competitive race for us.
SUMMERBEEL is a stable sole representative at Moonee Valley's night meeting. This daughter of Savabeel was impressive last time out when she won second up at Kensington. Will she appreciate the step up in trip here?
SUMMERBEEL's coming off the back of a tremendous win on the Kensington track. She's racing in Melbourne for the first time. However, she's going down with a lot of confidence and looking forward to seeing her over the 2,000 metres, which is a distance, a field she's been looking for some time. So I think if she can begin well and get into a nice rhythm and handle that way of going, then I feel she's an excellent chance for us.
Friday's night meeting takes place at Canterbury. Nominator will go second up in the benchmark 78 over 1,100 metres. Is he a winning chance?
Nominated a few things wrong there first up, which certainly left him vulnerable. I feel he will show improvement for us second up here. He's got a liking for the heavy tracks. I think he can be versatile in that regard, and hopefully the tempo of the 1,100 metres just allows him to find a better rhythm. He's a little bit rushed through the early stages over 1,000 metres. As I said, it just left him there vulnerable late, but certainly should improve with that first up run now.
Tukui Santuza looks to be a very promising filly by Piero, who will make her debut this weekend at either Canterbury or Canberra. Which option are you leaning towards?
Tukui Santuza will take her place at Canterbury. She looks to be effective in the conditions. She's trialled on a slow track. Just on 2 occasions over the shorter distance of the 740. She didn't quite show the early tactical speed there, but she really was really strong through the line. So favoured the 1,100 metres here with the fact of her being strong late. If she can handle the conditions there and the tight track on the first occasion, she certainly looks to be a promising filly for us going forward.
Moving to Friday's meeting at Canberra, Miss Black Diamond will look to break her maiden over 1,000 metres. Can this 3-year-old filly by Russian Revolution get the job done?
Miss Black Diamond's been a very sharp horse for us at home in her work and in her trials, and we haven't seen her be able to take that to the races for a breakthrough maiden victory yet, but hoping we can see that at Canberra today. She may have found the 1,200 metres first up just a bit too far. We've dropped her back to the 1,000 metres here and kept her nice and fresh and sharp, so hopefully that's the key for her today, because she's certainly capable of winning a race.
For Valour won impressively at Canterbury last week, and this son of Zeus star will look to back it up in the Canberra Mile. How did he pull up from his recent win?
For VALOUR couldn't have been more impressive there last start. He's on the back up here, and I think the race will really suit him. He seems to have had a nice week. He came through his run in tremendous order. Seems in great shape. So very, very pleased to see him take his place once again in what looks to be a nice race. He should see out the mile strongly and looks in good shape.
The stable has a number of exciting chances at Randwick on Saturday, including Knight's Order, who is making his return to the races in the Group 1 Chipping Norton Stakes, and North Star Lass, who is looking to secure her first Group 1 win. Talk us through their chances.
Knight's Order is returning in the Chipping Norton Stakes over the mile. Weight for age level at Group 1, certainly not an easy task for him there first up. Just with the distance being a bit short of his best, even though he was a winner at the mile first up last campaign, I feel he had the conditions to suit. So this is a much tougher ask for him, but a nice race to kick off his campaign. So I really expect him to show good improvement off the back of that. North Star Lass, again, expecting her to improve off her first up run. She may have just, as an older filly, may have just found them a little bit sharp for the 1200 metres, but stepping up to the 1400, I think we'll find the conditions much more to her liking. Both horses will enjoy a little bit of sting out of the ground with the most recent rain.
Summer Loving will be looking to secure her spot in the Golden Slipper via the Group 2 Sweet Embrace Stakes over 1200 metres. This filly by Exceed and Excel hasn't finished out of the money in her 3 starts to date. Is she ready to break her maiden in fine fashion?
Summer Loving really appears to be in great shape. I've been very pleased with the way in which she's returned from the Gold Coast. Her run in the Magic Millions was excellent. So she's bringing some nice form lines here. Even though she's a while between runs, she's certainly very fit and very forward. She's capable of winning this race. She should really appreciate the big track here. It's a home track. And she'll certainly be very strong over the 1200 metres. So it's a race with plenty of depth. Not going to be an easy task for her. I've been very happy with her work.
Ganbare and Bases Loaded will both line up in the Group 2 Skyline Stakes over 1200 metres. How do you see this race unfolding?
Certainly be an interesting matchup in the Skyline. I'm very pleased with both GANBARE and Bases Loaded. 2 promising colts going forward for us. GANBARE was an excellent run in the Inglis Millennium from the wide draw. He got further back than we probably expected in the run, but the way he found the line was certainly very, very impressive. So very pleased with him going into the race, and expect him to continue to show good improvement. And I could have been more impressed with Bases Loaded with the way in which he debuted. It was a solid victory, putting himself up on pace. If he can run a similar type of race, he's a tough colt that will certainly take some beating.
Riadini will make his return to the races in the Group 3 Liverpool City Cup over 1300 metres. The 6-year-old gelding by Prozier was victorious in the $1 million The Gong last preparation. Is he in for another big campaign? I feel
Riadini's returning to the races off what was a very successful campaign for him last time. I think he's taken plenty of confidence out of that, and I thought he's trialled up really well. Retained some good residual fitness, so certainly nice and forward for his first up run. And he may just find the 1300 metres a bit short and sharp for him. I do feel once he gets up to that mile distance, we'll see him at his best once again, but he is in great shape and really looking forward to his campaign going ahead.
Stonecoat and PETERSHAM will both head to Newcastle on Saturday, where they will compete in the Class 1 handicap and fillies and mares maiden handicap over 1400 metres respectively. Are they both a winning chance?
I thought Stonecoat ran very well first up. The conditions deteriorated quite quickly during his race, but he stuck on pace and stuck on very well. He's open to good improvement, and the additional distance here will be in his favour. Petersham's having a first start for us, and I feel a first up run was certainly, there's plenty of merit there. She looks to have trained on nicely. Her work on Tuesday morning was certainly that of a filly that's capable of breaking her maiden, with plenty of progression to come. So looking forward to seeing her take a place. Certainly be an interesting watch over the weekend.